Good afternoon, everybody. All right, so it is October 5th, and I can't believe it's October already. October 5th, about 12 p.m. And we are going to do our weekly analysis for the next upcoming week. We're also going to take a look at that monthly candle. I'm sure if you follow, you've already been looking at it, but um, I want to make sure that it's done on here for you guys. But other than that, let's go ahead and start in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we are so thankful and grateful to be in your presence today and to see the workings of your creation before our eyes. And we are so blessed to be able to experience the beauty and power that you are resting everywhere and even on us at all times. God, I ask that you would bless this analysis. You would lend me your spirit of power and wisdom and understanding that I may be able to see the markets and identify some opportunities to capitalize on and just overall bless the week, not just for me, but for anybody who's watching this. Lord, I just pray over their trading that you would just give them patience and tenacity and just the ability to be able to receive your guidance, God. Soften their hearts and let them know that you are always moving in their lives. Lord, again, I thank you. I praise your name. And this I pray in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay. All right, guys. So this upcoming week, we have CPI. We have CPI on Thursday, and we have FOMC at 11 o'clock on Wednesday, and PPI. So should be a pretty volatile week. We came out of the gate strong when it came to our first rate cut. We took that whole half 0.5 basis points. So I would recommend always just kind of like go and read these articles. Elusive economic soft landing. So, I mean, obviously it's going to be their goal for that to happen. So they want to make sure that they are raising or lowering the rates in a responsible way. So depending on, what the CPI, this is going to be the big one right here, I think, these two. Um, but depending on what these numbers are, that will help determine whether or not they're going to be more aggressive when the next rate cut decision comes. I've already read articles saying that they aren't going to be cutting rates again until um, December. So if their goal is to cut 1.5 basis points by next year, that math doesn't really math. So, um, the data coming out this week will give us a good outlook of that. Okay, so here's our next federal funds rate meeting in November, actually. So, okay, yeah, we don't even have one in October. So, yeah, this will give us a lot of good clues too, excuse me, on what may come. So, and CPI is at 530. All right. Cool, cool, cool. All right, guys, and I'm gonna start using the futures chart for the dollar as well. Um, I know we've been using. So just by looking at this, you already can see which option that we created played out this last week. Um, and it's obviously, I don't even know if we wrote that down, if I just left that as a marking. Yeah, option one. So we just came into a very important point of interest. We even came up all the way to close this gap here and tap into this daily bearish order block. We filled that imbalance, I believe. This was a weekly imbalance that we had marked. It swept these highs. And we are left with actually a weekly order block on the bullish side of things. So just technical wise, I could either see we just get, a pretty simple sweep of the high, and then we sell to tap into this order block, and we continue buying to our next objective. I believe this uh, gap we have marked here was our on the 2 week. Yeah, there we go on the 2 week, and then we have this order block right here. Okay. So that's kind of a pretty basic outlook, technical wise. So this would be our next bullish objective if we do continue bullish. Um, and I'm not going to fib that candle because I feel like it's at this point, it's really simple, to understand that it's going to be coming down in here somewhere because of, maybe it only comes down this low and it just uses this prior resistance for a new support. Maybe it comes all the way and taps into this, or maybe we just get a 50%, something like that. So this could potentially be like Monday through Sunday price action, and then we get a Tuesday, Wednesday type of thing, and then we expand for the rest of the week. Um, I could also see potential for, maybe we get a little push up on Sunday and then we get a larger sell on Monday. And Tuesday, we see price come up into this liquidity and that 2 week order block. And then let's just say CPI comes out and it's looking, really high, higher than we would like it to be, right? And, the other data that's coming out would also facilitate them needing to be more aggressive on their next rate decision. And I could definitely see price selling off. Maybe to make a higher low, right? Or we just continue to make a new low. Um, I could see either option happening. So that would be like a bearish version of that. And then I'll do kind of like the same thing. We get a tap in here for price to ultimately go up. If not this week, then the following week it would push up again. Let's take a look at that monthly candle. Okay, so we also have a monthly order block. So for price to bounce off that weekly, I will throw a Fibonacci on this one. I will, so for price to make a higher low, either in this scenario, um, or in this first one we talked about, that would definitely make sense for, you know, this monthly order block as well. So that's two different time frames giving us a confluence there. And I'm just going to check the 3 month because that was the end of quarter 3. So, yeah, I mean, we haven't made a new low here, but it looks like price is being drawn up into this candlestick because this is an order block right here. So it does look like it's being drawn into that. So if price comes into our next bullish point of interest, that would give a pretty healthy retracement on that 3 month time frame, 61. So, and maybe it could go even higher than that. We'll just have to see. But for now, we're just going to focus on those current objectives. But even looking at this on a lower time frame, so let's just check. Yeah, like, so this is the Fibonacci for that monthly candle, and it's like very much aligned with if I was to throw a fib on this weekly order block here. So that's definitely confluence. So I was going to say, even dropping down to a lower time frame, such as this, like price has obviously broken out of this consolidation here, so it's going to need a retracement. There's a lot of gaps in price here. So I'd like to offer one more option because we did come into these equal highs here and we came into this order block, right? If price is going to go up further, sometimes we do get, let me move these over. Sometimes we do get a Judas swing. So, especially in times where traders are highly anticipating to get into the market, which would be times like CPI. And when you have like another rate decision coming up, a lot of traders are going to want to be into the market. So price will become very manipulative. So I could see something like this happening to where price would want to come down here. And maybe it hits this bearish objective that we had. Maybe it just sweeps this low. But it would, so it give us a sweep to the upside, then a sweep to the downside, and then we would see price begin to trend upwards towards this next objective here. So I'm trying to think real quickly. Yeah, so this could play out a number of ways. Um, we could get sort of like a break of the high, and then we could get like a tap in to that order block, the weekly one, and then we could get price coming up to make a lower high, failing to create a new high here. Um, and then it would go to take these lows, which this could be our Friday right here. And then the previous week it wants to climb to the upside. Um, just depending on how data is going to look. So so that second option was kind of like it was both of these. It's just like the ending of the week is different, if you know what I mean. Um, so after we spoke about this option, if um price wants to continue to push up, we could get that sweep, and that may be potentially the Judas swing, but I would say it's less likely because this would kind of start a bullish trend, if you know what I mean. And usually, like a liquidity grab on both sides doesn't have price doesn't start trending, it just rejects. Usually, I could be wrong on that. But yeah, so that was option 2. And then I'll just write in there for option 3. Okay, so it seems like for the most part, I'm biased for the bullishness here, because of price action, but I do understand that price, can do whatever it wants. But I would just say like the key things to look for if CPI is um higher than we would like, and our stuff is our data this week that's coming out is, a lot higher, and it's not really reflecting the current rate cut that they did last time, then that would push the market down when it comes to the dollar, because that's going to indicate that they do need to cut rates again the next time. However, it is just a month. It's only been a month that we've had um, our rate come down. So, unemployment claims, I would say this could possibly be skewed this week because of the strikes that are going on, and the hurricane. So I know that they're not getting much aid out there. So usually when we have some sort of natural disaster, we're going to see an influx of unemployment claims because people can't work. So that could be potentially skewed this week. So if this number is like crazy, I don't think they're going to count it in the overall outlook of the economy. Um, but then again, the damage is pretty bad out there. And so who knows how long these people are going to need to stay on unemployment, or if there's going to be another federal program that they can be on rather than unemployment. So we're just going to have to wait and see how that plays out. But I would just like be aware of this unemployment one because of that. Let's go ahead and take a picture of this. I feel like I always spend the most time on the dollar. Oh, they changed the picture. Okay. So there we are for the dollar. Looks good. Let's see. Stack. I think it's funny how I said I want to use the futures chart now for the dollar and I still didn't use it. Okay. So let's go back to our last week here. So I think we consolidated mostly, if I'm remembering correctly. I only traded Tuesday, Wednesday this week, and the rest of the week I didn't trade, so honestly I have no idea where the price is at right now. Um, okay, stuff. So yeah, we pushed to the downside, but okay. So our Sunday open would be in here somewhere. So we pushed down, we took liquidity here, right here, this trend line liquidity. And then it looks like we came right back up to where we started this week. That's why we have that long candle on the weekly and a very small body. So I think our option, this one played out, but it didn't go to make a new high and it didn't sell that low. Did it sell that low? No, it didn't. Okay. So yeah, so we pretty much just consolidated this week. Um, so just looking at the weekly, we definitely rejected this fair value gap right here. I know there's more to fill in and that kind of thing, and we still have that daily gap down here. But I mean, this is a pretty clear rejection. That being said, we didn't make a new high, so we're just gonna have to watch to see if this bullish order block holds and we break this swing high, right? So if it wants to just tap here and then bounce, you know what I mean? And then we could see like a continuation downward because we are starting to make a bearish trend here. We have a high, low, high, low, right? High. So we'll have to see if this order block holds because it could be heading towards this um, gap that we have marked. And let's see, Friday. Yeah, I think I had this mark right here as like trend line liquidity that I was wanting price to possibly come into um, and maybe tap in here somewhere to keep selling off. So I think that could be a potential as well. If we do, if price breaks this level, you know what I mean? Maybe it's just for the reason to take this trendline liquidity here and tap into these gaps and this order block right here. And then we want to continue down. So I could definitely see that happening. So we'll just have to wait and see what price wants to do when it gets into this level. If it wants to reject or if it wants to bounce and keep going. And again, here it doesn't have to make a new low. It can make a higher low. And then we could start trending up from there. But if the dollar wants to be bullish this week, typically I would assume that we're going to get a bearish indice. So let's head back to the daily time frame. And let's check out our monthly candle as well, real quick. Deleting these, I'll put them back. So this is just like an indecision candle. Price literally went nowhere all month. Or is this? Oh, this is our new candle, actually. That was last month's candle. What am I talking about? Did I do that wrong on the dollar too? I did. Okay, interesting. So scratch what I said about the dollar having an order block right there. That's my bad. Let me go back and change that. Yeah, scratch that. Okay. So if we throw a fib on here, I'm gonna leave that there. I'm gonna peep the 3-month candle because again, it is a new quarter. So prices already began selling into this order block for some sort of retracement. I don't know if that's the only one it's going to give us. But our 38's here and our 50 is where that daily imbalance is. So I'm not going to mark those, but we're going to keep that in mind. Okay. Um, and then those like here's September, August. Yeah, so our 78 and whatnot would be right here on that monthly candle. So after making a new high here and tapping into here, definitely rejected, but it looks like it's rejecting to the downside again. So, like I said, we're just gonna have to see how this high plays out. So if we get like, you know what I mean, tap into this order block on like Monday or something, and the price comes up into here, um, maybe like Tuesday, Wednesday, right? One of two things could happen. You know, we could continue to the upside, or we could fake out a whole bunch of traders and see a rejection where price just wants to sell. And we'll do this one at least to these lows right here. Okay. That being said, that scenario could also play out like this, make a higher low, and then we could seek buy side either next week or maybe on Friday. Just depends. Sometimes we get that. Okay. So I would also encourage people to go and do research on because there's some port strikes happening, and I haven't checked in on that lately, but um, if they're striking at ports where things are being processed that would affect any of like the big players on the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones for that matter. Um, because that would definitely affect their stock prices for sure. So, okay. Here's just like another quick scenario I could see happening. Because we're in this downtrend, right, on this daily time frame. So I would say that maybe we get like a push down and price makes a higher low or something, respecting this high. And then we just see price want to continue downward for the week. So that would be awesome if we got a big sell off down here. Yeah, so um I said in the beginning of me looking at this that price had come in here to sweep this trend line liquidity here to then move back up, which is true, but I think that this could possibly stand as a um change of character as well. I know it's just wicks, so that's why I think it's more of a liquidity sweep, but it could also be that, which is why it would want to continue moving lower. Um, okay, yeah, so that's NASDAQ. And so price just like consolidated the same way as NASDAQ this week. We did get a break though of this swing high in that little downtrend. And it was after we came down here and we took this liquidity that was resting. See all these little lows right here. Um, so yeah, I actually had a limit set down there at one time, but I don't remember why. I think it was just Thursday, so I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Um, and then we came and broke here. So on an hourly or 4 hour time frame, this would be like a market structure shift. You can see price already came down though, and it has decided to continue to go to the upside. And it actually has come into this trendline liquidity here. So I know last week we were speaking about um, this imbalance here that I thought looked really good, and I was wanting to see price go into that because um, if you zoom out, there's definitely um, oopsie, there's definitely some form or was some form of a Judas swing here. So we had these highs and we had these lows. So the lows were taken and then the highs, right? Um, and so I wanted to see price come back into that displacement that it left. So I'll show you again right here on the 15-minute time frame. This is nice. So yeah, so right here, this was our market structure shift. This was the huge imbalance that it left behind. And there was so much liquidity here as well. You know what I mean? When did we start? This is our Monday. Yeah, so we created even more liquidity all the way, you know, here basically until it got taken. And then we did come down and feel some displacement here, and price has continued to the upside. So it's coming into that POI that I really liked last week. And just like NASDAQ, I definitely can see potential for it to just be going up to fill that and to um, potentially sell from here. So let's see, our weekly candle, very similar to NASDAQ. It's kind of an indecision candle. Um, excuse me. We have a daily bullish order block as well. So since we have already come into this trendline liquidity, I would definitely, see a case for um, I could definitely see a case for price to use this as an area to sell from into that daily order block that we were just looking at. I switched to the 4 hour time frame because the arrows don't want to work on the higher time frame. But I'll go back. So we could, open a bit higher, tap into that order block, come into here around Monday, Tuesday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, hopefully. and then we could see price continue to sell off. And just like I said on NAS, we could either be aiming to make a new low or we could be making a higher low, right? Um, so maybe I'll just leave that here for now because I do see some relative equal lows right here, which would be liquidity. Okay. So maybe we just open higher immediately, right? And we would get into this somewhere around Tuesday, Monday. Um, and then we could sell, right? And then we could climb higher for the rest of the week. So this would be like Wednesday-ish right here. Because we still have that same gap, right, on the daily time frame. And then liquidity wise, it's not pretty and it looks like it got taken already, but I would say there's still, we're still going back and forth. So traders are still going to look to use this area as a point of support. You know what I mean? So there's definitely still stop losses resting in here, in my opinion. Um, so it would be cool if we could get a deeper retracement into these levels, because that would be very healthy price action, but who knows if it's going to give that to us. So I would just say one last thought would be like if price just wants to, I don't know, maybe some form of liquidity gets generated in here between like Sunday and Tuesday's price action, and then we get up into here and maybe, so like, let me make a better example of that. We'll take our high, bounce, uh, get into there, and then we would go higher, right? So we would get a sell off from here, but it would just be to sweep the um, internal range. This is like really big for right here. Like this is all supposed to happen in this area, not make a new low, by the way. But I'm just trying to make the structure so you can see like if it was to consolidate and then we just get to tap into that um, by news and then we get a sweep into those lows and then it goes up. So that's what I see for Dow Jones. And then I'm gonna write this up real quick and then we'll take a look at AUD USD and see how it's doing since we've been following that and then we'll be done. Yeah. Just like looking at this, like this is just so, it's just going so sideways. Like I would like to see price come lower than just this area, you know, that would be cool. This is the unmitigated order block as well. So, but we'll just, always go to the closest objective first. Okay. So I kind of added into here, just like keep in mind that price may sell into deeper levels of retracement. So that would look like, price at least selling into this imbalance that was left on the daily time frame, at least, because remember we are in new highs territory, right? And this isn't really a retracement, you know what I mean? Um, so like we have this really bullish price leg here, and this isn't really like a retracement, it's kind of just going sideways. So we could potentially see price want to sell down into these areas. But yeah, so I just added that in there, and then let's take a look at AUD USD. Okay. So yeah, so kind of what I anticipated, because we just came into these double highs right here. Price is having a reaction, um, which means it picked up a lot of positions to be able to sell down. We do have a bearish weekly order block. So on the monthly time frame, so like we all know that macro wise, this pair is going to be bullish for some time. Um, so just already at the open of this month, it's selling off, which is kind of a good thing because obviously you guys all know power of three, it's going to go in the opposite direction first. So this is giving good signs here. I would say, and then let's check the 3 month. So the 3 month, yeah, these are pretty low. It could come down here. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But as far as this upcoming week, I think we'll see like some form of retrace and then continue to sell. I'm just picking this rate level right here. I'm not like paying super close attention, but I like this order block. It hasn't been tapped into yet. There's an imbalance above it. It's unmitigated. And it's also respecting this overall swing low. So there's definitely room for price to come into this area, and then the following weeks it just wants to continue to move to the upside. So yeah, but overall everything's looking good. So all right guys, well thank you very much. I hope you all have a blessed week as always, and I will see you guys again.